Good evening, all. Got a game here. It's the ITSL, International Twilight Struggle League, organised by Baskmex. I am playing Dva. My limited Russian tells me that is 2, as in Adin Dva. Can't remember what 3 is. Chi, Piet, Shestem, and so on. Looks like I'm USSR. So let's get right on in there. Convention dictates that I should lose this game, karmically as well. I accidentally stood this player up a few weeks ago because I agreed a date and then didn't stick it in my diary. 441 is fine, don't have independent Reds or Romania. Let's stick that in. So let's apologise for my tardiness. Yeah, won first 2 of 2 this player, so straight to the top of the UK division. Good for them. Right, so the only 4-op card is US-Japan, which obviously devalues Korea. Okay, right. I've got NASA, which is nice. That's probably the headline right here, actually. Without Suez, without Middle East scoring, and so on. Just make sure that I devalue Middle East scoring. Let's see if they open 4-3-3 or 4-4-2. That's relevant. 4-4-2. So we'll headline NASA. We get purged. Oh, wonders of wonders. This is what I get for missing our initial date. Right, I've got US-Japan. I have East European unrest. I've got CIA, which I'll play before any influence drop. Special relationship. Indo-Pakistani war. Blockade. Arab-Israeli war. Bum, bum, bum. And those are my 7. Yep. So we're going to go with an initial coup on Iran with Arab-Israeli war, which does not do very well, and already it's paid for itself. If he moves into Pakistan, though, I will coup with the China card, because I'm holding Indo-Pakistani war. And I don't need to worry about CIA if I can get that card out my hand before Fidel is enacted. So yes, karma dictates I lose this game anyway, so I am a dangerous man with nothing to lose. Okay, so he splits his influence. What do we think? Ooh, it's always tough. We can keep Defcon up for a moment and play Blockade, just to punt stuff from his hand. We want to be playing events anyway. And we don't want Defcon to drop hastily. Let's do that. Now, another option is, let's play Blockade. Let's clear his hand. We want to basically push out to threaten with the decall D-style issue. We didn't get dealt decall or D-style. He does ditch D-style, and he triggers Korean War, which would have succeeded if I hadn't played in. Well, good news, free D-style. Bad news, now dominated in Asia. So let's threaten Afghanistan and hope he doesn't have Asia scoring. It sucks to use special relationship, but NATO's not in play. The good news is if he wanders into Pakistan, I can take Pakistan and India. So he spaces decall, tries to get away to space first. He gets there, which makes me disinclined. Woo! I am awful on the PC. It makes me disinclined to space, so I might just use Eastern European unrest. Although we need to worry about Truman Doctrine and getting punted out of Europe. So we're instead going to load up Pakistan with the China card. We're going to dare him to take a coup on it. And we can follow that by taking India. Sucks to get up the China card at this point, but really my only way to survive in Asia is to ensure I get 3 battlegrounds. And even then he can event Formosa. Yowza! So we're going to show our hand, get rid of CIA. I know DEFCON's only 3, but now's the time to do it. We don't want him to trigger Fidel and leave us in a bad way. Worst case scenario, he plays into Libyan and drops Middle East scoring for presenceless domination. I feel like we would have seen Middle East scoring. Well, we probably wouldn't by now, actually, because I've entered Nesse. Either Purge or Middle East scoring in the headline. I think Middle East scoring's a better headline. Okay, so the good news... Scrabbling forward already. The good news of this round is that I have succeeded in pushing out... Alright, we're going to prey on a lack of Truman. The good news of this round is that I have managed to push out both Decol and D-Style. The expense is that I am absent in the Middle East, having played Nasser, and I am dominated in Europe. And, I'm only 1 Formosa away from being dominated in Asia. So we'll take my success with a pinch of salt. Oh, and I got CIA out as well, I shouldn't be so negative. And there's Truman. Okay, what's one less thing to worry about? Alright, yeah, Middle East is the major malfunction. I got it, at least. So a Cambridge 5 headline, knowing defectors is here, is definitely the right headline. Is it? Socialist governments is another one. So Cambridge 5 only breaks down where socialist governments runs into Europe. And DEFCON's at 4. Defectors, 5-year. I can 5-year plan Middle East scoring even better. Comic-Con socialist governments. Cambridge 5. Alright, knowing that I can 5-year plan Middle East scoring, let's headline the Cambridge 5, because you can't headline both scoring cards. He doesn't have either. So we get the coup off on Thailand while DEFCON's 4. All we do is succeed in cleaning it out. That is a serious bummer. He has to coup Iraq if he wants to lower DEFCON. Sweet of them to say that the game's not fair in inverted commas so far. The Purge was a great headline. I can live with it. I think, fair is fair. So, I am going to start my relentless march into... Which I'm going to use the 3-up card for that. I'm going to break Iran to push back into Iraq, as well as continuing my relentless march in Asia. So if I can take Laos and Vietnam, Burma and Afghanistan, then I only suffer from domination even with Taiwan by one battleground. If I can flip a battleground, get a decol, a D-style, etc. Yep. Fine. So maintaining country count is the prime objective in Asia, because he does have to fill up 3 influence into Taiwan to make a difference. So yeah, I mean, he's right. It's not going well. Decol D-Style's gone. Dominated in Europe. Not doing well in the Middle East. He's firing everything off into space, like a overfunded NASA. But I can live with those fates, Let's keep loading up Asia. That's up to 7. Of course, what he doesn't know is I'm going to 5-year plan Middle East scoring. Blimey. Go NASA, you sly dogs. We'll tap West Germany, because de Gaulle's still to come. So Marshall Plan's the only blue card left in the deck. The swine had Vietnam revolts all along. So he overprotects and he fixes. We will use 5-year plan to tap Thailand twice and also threaten Malaysia. In doing so, ditching Middle East scoring. So it doesn't take him much to repair Thailand, but we have put enough tempo on that we can get Asia away for little to no damage. Now, of course, it's a shame we used the China card earlier. But such is life. Nuclear test ban. Ooh, saved a lot of ops to finish. What a rich man. Okay, putting in Libya seems like a bit of a waste of time, having just seen it, but there we go. So the question is, can I, with defectors, use decol to flip Asia? Because I'm not going to do anything in Europe. So I can flip domination in Asia with a sneaky decol. Let's do that, knowing defectors is out. He goes for the Indo-Pak War, which is a huge... so I got Asia. Let's do this one at a time. That fails. Right. So I got Olympic, UN, Fidel. And then I've got replacement cards. So he has Marshall, Europe scoring, Warsaw, de Gaulle, Romanian. So he's going to get Europe for domination. Then we had the discards. I got decol back, which I have used. He got Indo-Pak War back, which he has used. Independent Reds, which I have to use before Romanian abdication comes off. Comic-Con defectors. Yeah. And then we load up Africa because we can drop Asia scoring for Dom. Repair and take. So we've got two options here. We can repeatedly tap Europe. Denying him domination, knowing he has to use the card. Or we can simply coup and give up Europe domination. Those are our options as they stand. But he's got Warsaw, De Gaulle, and Romanian abdication. So the downside of cooing is we give up Angola. So let's tap. Get rid of independent Reds before Romanian abdication drops out. My thinking here is just let's cause him a little bit of tempo trouble. Because if he uses Romanian abdication, again, we can tap. We can deny domination. With Warsaw Pact, we can also get some oomph in. So here, let's use Comecon, tap again, move into Turkey. I'm thinking, can we race, basically? That's the question here. Is it possible to race in Europe? I'm probably unlikely to manage. I'm probably being a complete FUD here. Bless you. So he's got Europe, Warsaw, and De Gaulle. No, he's got NATO. Okay, well, that's a bummer. He's going to say, your move. He's now very overprotected. So we'll say, fine. How about that? He should move into Angola immediately. But he may drop the ball, and if he does, I will hope to pick it up. I might give the VP up for defectors, and... No, he doesn't. He's not stupid. But we'll use defectors to tap that. For tempo. So he's got Warsaw, De Gaulle in Europe. He can't... Well, he's got enough influence to replace Europe, although I could then tap it AR6. So he has to either event De Gaulle, yeah, he's either got to event De Gaulle and fully repair it, which allows me to take Angola and Zaire, or event Warsaw Pact, which I can use to deny domination. So he may have to drop Europe scoring now anyway, and allow me to take... I would take... I don't know. I'd use Fidel to take both. Knowing I have Panama, but to my chagrin, that makes Cuban Missile Crisis very attractive to him. But it's the old bird in the hand argument. Or he has to use the China card. But the exact combination he's left himself allows me to have a stab at denying domination in Europe. So let's see. Event. 3-1. 2 ops. Oh no, you can overprotect and take 1. Yeah, okay. So I'll take Angola. Just with UN intervention. And he will get Europe scoring. And he's holding Warsaw Pact. So, not a great start to the early war, but I've got some room in Africa. And I got Africa scoring, so I might be able to make that count. Unfortunately, I have Middle East scoring, which is an unmitigated disaster. And a ton of white cards to headline. That is not a delightful mid-war hand. I'm going to be honest. South African unrest. Willie. And that's it. And I got Truman. Nuclear subs. OAS. Camp David. I got the Middle East scoring. And I got the Africa scoring. Holy smoke. Fidel might be the best event there. Get the initial coup off on Zaire with Willie. South Africa unrest to back it up. This all fails with an ABM or a grain cell. Or indeed, a bear trap. So Camp David can go out the window. I do at least spare myself the fate of being... Okay, so an OPEC coup gets no VP. Gets the wrong in inverted commas one at least. Can I make something of this? Truman Doctrine, South African unrest, Asia scoring, Africa scoring, sorry. Presence in the Middle East. There's still hope. I'm not going to race in Europe. I'm going to overprotect my battlegrounds. And obviously with Truman, disparate influence isn't useful. Get Truman out the deck. So event South African unrest, try and score Asia for domination, although he's probably not stupid and sees the way the wind's blowing. Use nuclear subs to play influence into Syria for presence. Gorgeous. Need to do something about that. Comic-Con's still in the deck at least. Europe scoring has at least gone. Africa scoring, nuclear subs to Syria and Poland, Middle East scoring. So you're just going to go for it. Oh, interesting. Africa scoring for 1 VP. Nuclear subs, Middle East scoring. Whew. The poke in the chest. It's getting better and better for me. Not Turkey, sunshine. Watch that pointer. I'm hoping that just looks like I'm repairing. A smart player here taps Syria, because it's a absolute red flag. And instead he goes off to space, but he gets to peak if he's successful. Great, headline peaking as well. Things are on the up and up, sunshine. 14 VP at the end of turn 4. This game's going to be over nice and fast. Why don't you have a space as well? See if you can get to 15. 17 even. 17. No. He does something with his ops instead, which is always a good idea. Bit of overprotect. So, unfortunately, I was dealt Lone Gunman. So we'll see if we get that back in the deck for a late game that may never come. It's a while until shuttle diplomacy matters. So So that is a free op card, thanks to my failure earlier. Based on the strength of this hand, and Middle East scoring having gone, it is almost, but not quite, worth purging. If I didn't purge, what would I play? So I'm going to purge him, mostly as a response. He gets a free headline. He cannot at least put me in the bear trap. We can use Muslim Revolution to clear him out of Iran. That does some damage, but not enough to truly fear it. It looks like he's holding Southeast Asia scoring. But we're going to open with a coup on Panama, which is successful. So now all we need is a brush war to set that right. Yuck, yuck, yuck. Yeah, Southeast Asia scoring is currently scoring 4 VP. And there it is. So he is a successful space off victory. Where's left to be scored? Central America. So we're going to begin the inevitable coup and counter-coup war on a dominated region. But he may just try and get a space off and seal the deal here. Alliance Progress doesn't do it. Nixon does. So coup and counter-coup begins. Shuttle diplomacy is in play, but at this point that's the least of my worries. I'm not likely to make it to turn 7 where those cards have a major effect. What we're hoping for is to get him to run down Central America scoring that counts against him. Boy, big coup. So that signposts he's holding it. Holy crispy crap. Alright, we'll plug into that one instead then, shall we? And of course, the delight of having to play one of Panama and OAS, giving access to South America. So depending on the strength of this coup, we will have to coup Haiti with Muslim Revolution, which is gross, because we can't afford to be left double-teamed on Cuba. Fidel needs to stay as long as possible. So I'm in a bad way here. No. Yeah, Israel is irrelevant. So let's clear down some UK and France influence. So coup here? Yep. Make it low. No, that's the opposite of making it low. So we use a 4 op card on Nicaragua. We're hoping for a 3 or higher. Okay, we get ours. So we've got one clean coup left because Panama has to repair Panama. And by doing that, we're offering access. Come on, nice and low. Low, that's alright. So we'll now threaten Panama. which gives Allende. Could be worse. And then we can event and repair Panama. That didn't go as badly as it could have, given the circumstances. But I still can't help but notice we're at 80 VP. So yeah. Alliance to Pro. Oh, great. Sorry, I've managed to relieve some of the immediate pressure. But that's not to say I don't have it. So I got Junta, which is good, because that might be the headline. Ask Not. Brush War is great. And Italy is the target there, I think. Lads, NORAD. VOA's off to space. And emit. So, a junta coup on Venezuela, hoping to trigger. Well, he's going to get my So what can he do? He can duck and cover to reduce DEFCON. He can grain sales to steal a card and coup, which means Brush War's more attractive. And ABM's still in play. We've seen Saul go. I've not been keeping tabs on this. And one small step. Somebody's not been counting cards properly. Not that that's helped him in the slightest. Suez. Small step. Southeast Asia, yeah. And CRG. Okie silly dokio. I'm going to play Brush War, and I'm going to say, do what you're going to do, and then I'm going to react. Because if he was going to grain sales, he's going to get the coup before Junta anyway. Fine. So we're hoping he doesn't steal Junta or Brush War. Junta or Voice of America. Let's take Italy. It's our only shot. It succeeds. He steals Lads, which he'll coup with. Fine. So we will junta to Brazil. And we will try realigning at 0. If we can clear him out, this is great news. Perfect. 71% of the time I do alright, but the 30% of the time is a disaster. So let's take... Do we take the 16%? Why not? No. So, voice has to be the space. The downside is that means giving up the China card or playing Ask Not and hoping he doesn't have South America scoring. Puppet government here puts me in a hard place. Venezuela plus Argentina. Whistle for the wind. We will no longer go for control then. We'll just try and keep ahead here, but absolutely make sure we don't get in a situation where we can get realigned out of Chile. He has to use a 4-op card to take it, which isn't very efficient, especially when ABM is the only 4-op card in the deck. No, that's not a bad one. He's going for it. Alright, tell you what, we'll say, no you don't. The China card's not super valuable to us with all the DEFCON restrictors gone. Although we're running out of gas here. A MIP may ditch South America scoring anyway, but we're going to play a MIP before turn 7 because we'd rather keep Lone Gunman in the deck. Then we have to space VOA. Oh, brilliant! There is a god. And he likes South America scoring and people who stand people up for appointments. Space VOA? Yeah. Well, Roscosmos are on short rations. Cambridge 5, so he's showing out. And just does some repairy things. We'll use a MIT to take Sportugal for both country count and for saying we're going to try and dominate Europe as long as possible, although we need to overprotect Poland. What 5? Che Brezhnev's gone. Che, Socialist Government's Quagmire's bad if he gets it out. But that's about it. Quagmire is the one card we'd rather not see come out here. Cult Rev can live with that. He sends that off to space. Looking for his 3 Veeps. Well, that misses 2. That's a bonus. So, 10-7, we will ask not. And we are going to panic because we've got a lot of crap to deal with. So, let's overprotect Poland. Accept that we're currently shuttle dominated everywhere else. Let's put our eggs in Europe's basket. But with blockade gone, it's not like a lot can happen anyway. If he's got Quagmire here, then bully for him. If he's got Quagmire, he may ditch it rather than try and space it. Because he wants an AR7 crisis. Oh no, he ditches it, fine. So, NORAD's in effect, but he's got to place 2 ops into Canada to make it happen. He's probably got better things he can do with that. He uses Usuri for influence because he's got the China card and he's already dominating. And he uses it to push on Chile. So we're on to turn 7. And it's not like things are looking great, but there you go, such is life. I got Socialist Governments, I got U2, I got Arab Israeli, I got Portuguese Empire Crumbles, which means he's got Che and Liberation Theology. He's also got ABM, hey, and he's got Missile Envy, hey, amazing. I got Eastern European Arrest and Duck and Cover. Did we see 5-year plan go? I'm sure we did. I think it was one of his coups the turn before. No, there it is. So plan and grain sales. So I think he's got Alliance of Progress, Nixon for 2 VP, Special Relationship and Containment. But I've not been counting properly. My 9th card is Arab-Israeli War. No, it's not. My 9th card is not SOGGov, not Eastern European Unrest, not Portuguese Empire Crumbles. Duck and Cover? Oh no, Colonial Rear Guards. Alright, so he's still peaking. Still peaking, still peaking, still peaking. Still peaking. Portuguese Empire Crumbles does nothing. YouTube is a bit shite. Socialist Governments is probably the best headline. Because I have a load of Drek. If he missile envies me, he gets Duck and Cover, which gets him 3 VPs, but no coup. Eastern European Unrest, I guess, gives me a coup. So if he missile envies me, EU is the coup. That means I have to space Duck and Cover, which means I have to play Colonial Rear Guards. That's the problem. Because those are the 7 I want to play, and I can't space Duck and Cover and Colonial Rear Guards. Alright, I have to think about this. did play into... Oh, interesting. Alright, so if I give him Eastern European unrest, I can then get a coup off without NORAD triggering. Actually, colonial rear guards is less of an issue because I'm so utterly boned in Southeast Asia and Africa. So I can space duck and cover, which means give him Eastern European unrest before late war. So where's our coup? Mexico? Or Libya to get some access in the Middle East? Libya, I guess. I need access to the Middle East, certainly. Big 6. That is the opposite of a 6, play deck. So he has ABM treaty to do some sort of damage. But that will at least give me the tempo to take back Chile. So the question is, will he do something to take Chile first? The old ABM and... Let's overprotect Panama as one of my very few battlegrounds worth protecting. So we're expecting an ABM coup followed by a NORAD. The obvious place being Venezuela or... Oh no, he's still pushing space first. Will space... Do we space duck and cover right now? Let's event and repair colonial rearguards first. So my rationale is, let's hold on to 5-year plan, because on the off chance he gets greedy and 5-year plans me, then he might accidentally DEFCON suicide. Okay, so we immediately repair South Africa and Botswana, because we can't afford to be cleaned out. Oh, well, that gets me a glorious 1VP. OPEC twice for 1VP. Botswana, no. Ah, there, yes, okay. We will not allow that to stand. There you go, this aggression will not stand, dude. So OPEC, Che, containment have gone. So he's still got ABM, Alliance, Liberation, Nixon special relationship, if I've been counting properly. So here comes ABM, followed by a NORAD. Well, that's the one. So the question is just where else he puts one. Yeah, fine. We will say no to that. And overprotect, because obviously coupping in Venezuela comes next. So Alliance is getting him 3 VP at the moment. He may take that, because the scoreboard's looking high. So as USSR going into late war with USA in a position to win with war games, really, I'm just looking for DEFCON, right? I'd love for him to place an influence into Cuba in order to make Ortega viable, but really I'll just take Aldrich, terrorism, and lone gunman if I have to. But that's the only way I'm going to win here. So he does take the 3 Veeps. So he now definitely isn't holding 5-year plan. Roscosmos continue to attract the ire of the space organization and the Soviet government. Liberation theology he will hold. So I expect to see Nixon for 2 VP. Ah, he's going to take Nixon back with the China card. Sassy. So we won't immediately play back in there. Or will we? No, we will. Because he basically... Oh, and he might coup with special relationship and then headline. Tough choice. What am I going to do with 2 ops otherwise? I can't meaningfully affect the board state in the Middle East, Asia, or Africa. So where can I? I can by tapping Argentina. So I will do that. So I expect to see him either use special relationship here for ops. 1 Argentina, 1 Colombia is fine. Or to use Nixon to take the China card back again. Well, I'm lucky space stalled when it did. But... oh, he had to use Suri as well. Cripes. Shows I can't count for toffee. Okay, so... Star Wars is a suicide card. Teardown is a suicide card. Grain Sales is a suicide card. So I need to hold Cultural Revolution in case he does have... Nixon. So Iran-Iraq War's my headline. And if he drops DEFCON, South America scoring before all else. Oh boy. This one ain't going the distance. Ha! That's a bonus. At least I get to see his entire hand. So he didn't have special relationship all this time. But otherwise I counted alright. So now he doesn't need to worry about... DEFCON Suicide. And I sure do, with 3 DEFCON Suicide cards. Oh, South American scoring. Reagan bombs Libya. And will he? Or won't he? And he's got Libthi, Nixon, me, Junta, Glasnost for a 2VP ABM, Ladok, Yuri, Summit. We'll coup in the headline to deny NORAD, and we're hoping for a 4-5 or 6 for Dom to drop South America scoring. 4-5 or 6, go. Splendid. So we'll drop South America scoring for nothing. Now I am going to die to DEFCON Suicide, because I should have used the China card AR1 instead. But there we go. What's in... everything is in the discard pile. Although I do have the... I do have Cultural Revolution to take it back. So 3, 4, event, 6, China keeps me alive a little longer. Two into Costa Rica and a realign is the best thing here. Ah, no, he went for Cuba. We will cover Colombia. Not very well. He drops Middle East scoring. So shuttle diplomacy is scored and country count becomes an issue again. Here comes the 2VP ABM. Venezuela seems like the obvious shout. Well, maybe Panama. Holy crispy crap. We'll take the China card back. What do we think? That gives him an AWP splash around elsewhere. Which you may misplace, but mostly it's just about presence. OAS is gonna do for me anyway. We use the China card and we use OAS AR7 to he's got a hold Latin American debt crisis, at least. Yeah. So we event OAS and say, if you put 2 in Venezuela, I will put 1 straight back in. He'd probably be better off putting 2 in Cuba. Oh no, he doesn't want to put into Cuba because of Ortega. He's being sensible. So we just put the 1 back in. So we avoided DEFCON suicide, but now we're going to be handed like Soviet shoot down Cal and Voice of America just to round off the set. So let's not get too excited. DEFCON suicide is seconds away. Okay, right, so the problem is 5-year plan. The solution is, I don't know. Socialist government has gone. Yeah? So Thatcher the Betrayer isn't a bad headline, but doesn't flip Argentina. Latin American debt crisis for the coup on Panama might be it. And I'll have to repair with solidarity. So let's headline Comic-Con, boring though it is, to make sure Europe domination kicks in, and I can help cover Poland. This is possibly the most boring turn headline I've ever made in my entire life. So if you haven't fallen asleep at the laptop, I salute you. have a boatload of points for Africa, Sunshine, no problem. I'll do nicely. So we can redominate, we can cover those things, and why not? 16 VP, you say? Things are almost over. Yeah, so we're probably going to start by getting the coup off on Panama, because why the hell not? 5-year Sol. Thatcher Betrayer, Cuban Missile Crisis. North Sea Oil. OPEC's gone. An 8th AR is the least of my worries. Yeah. Yeah, Panama, why the hell not? Not bad. He gets his NORAD op, which he'll probably break Venezuela with, or one of the Asia places to work. Oh no, he can't work for domination now. We're 3-3. Ugh. Give me a mobile phone. Oh, he goes for it. Mate, it's not going to final scoring. Don't know what your problem is. Alright, so we will be hopes and prayers for Ortega. Turn 10. Ha! Oh, what a weaselly coup. It doesn't end the game, but only just. Oh, hello. Bye-bye, Panama. Okay. The jig is up. I'm DEFCON suiciding anyway because of these two cards. Well, fair's fair there. Thanks for watching. Let me know if I flubbed. I was clearly outclassed. I can live with that. I can live with being outclassed any day of the week. If you've made it to the end of the game, I've had lots of requests to increase the frame rate of my recording. Sadly, the frame rate's not the issue. The issue is that I only have piece of crap technology in my house, and this laptop will not record at a greater rate. So yeah, sadly, unless you start a GoFundMe page to get me a top-end laptop, help Cardlinger continue to embarrass himself on YouTube, the frame rate's going to stay the way it is, and I doubt any of you have pockets deep enough or minds simple enough to comprehend buying me a laptop. So I think just live with what you got. If you miss the odd frame because my stupid processor lags and you miss the coup, then whoop-de-doo. These things happen. So Dvar moves up to whatever 3 is. Chitiri, whatever. I don't know Russian very well. I suspect this might be our league winner coming in late from a sub out. Seems to be pretty powerfully good. And that consolidates the fact that I'm absolutely not going to win this division, so it's playoffs or bust for me in ITSL. But thanks to Basmek for organising. Pleasure, and I will catch you soon. Thanks a lot. Bye.